Oftentimes, women get offended when they hear this phrase, but if you understand it, then women start to say it too when they really get it and they get aggravated by it. Like a lot of women, believe it or not, in these spaces of masculine men talking about masculinity, there are women in there who are just feminine, submissive women who agree with what's being said. They understand it. It resonates with them. That's their experience. And they appreciate the fact that both men and women are given accountability in these types of spaces, right? Because just like we're talking about the whole red pill space, there's the looks, money, status situation. And then there's, and that's the more so reciprocal value type of red pill spaces, which is somewhat transactional red pill spaces. And then you have the masculinity, sexual polarity, and sexual desire. That type of game. And that's a different aspect of the red pill community. Just talking about dating and relationships. So I'm going to break down for you a little bit about what goofy shit is. Like when I say a woman saying goofy shit. What goofy shit is imagine this. If you're familiar with the red pill, you're familiar with the concept of shit tests. But I'm going to hit you with it from a different perspective. So imagine that a shit test is disrespect, right? It's disrespect in order to see what happens if you're shaken up, right? Now, there are different levels of shit tests. There are different levels of ways that can work. Some of those ways are helpful. Some of those ways are not helpful. But a woman knowing that the man that she's dealing with is masculine is important. Now, it's goofy for a woman to purposefully deal with the man because she thinks he's not masculine, which means he won't stand up for himself against her and lets her do whatever the fuck she wants to do. And then to get upset with him because he's being emotionally empathetic, sympathetic, understanding, and letting her have her way to a certain extent. That's goofy. Just like the whole scenario is goofy. Another thing, if a woman's dealing with a dominant masculine man, oftentimes, not only will they feel unsure about the man, but sometimes they'll feel unsure about themselves. And those insecurities will cause them to say things that will sabotage the situation. I was dealing with this one woman a while back. And she was telling me about, I was polydom at the time. She was telling me about some guy she was dating. All right. Well, she went to go see him, see what was up with him. And she told me that she told the dude, you're not just trying to play me, aren't you? It's like, what are you trying to get? I said, see, there you go saying goofy shit again. Now, she solved that issue and was able to find her a good man. But this is the issue right here. Like, why are you putting yourself in a position with someone who you don't already, you're not attracted enough to just go with the flow, who you don't respect enough or see they have character enough to go with the flow? And I know you got to get in that situation first, but the truth is this. A lot of women, you set yourself up to get ghosted. You set yourself up for a dude to act funny with you. I remember one time I went to go see this one woman, right? And dropped some D off. And when I was in the car, she was like, how tall are you? I'm like, maybe 5'9", 5'10", something like that. She was like, okay, I think 5'11", like the best height. I'm like, I don't care what you think. I don't give a fuck. Like, I told her that right to her face. And then I beat it down. And it's like, this is the thing to understand. Why say things to disrespect the man on purpose, trying to see how masculine he is, if you're already in that situation where you're trying to fuck with him? Like, I get that's female nature, but it's goofy. It's goofy as hell. Because, listen, if you play hard to get, I'm going to play hard to reach. Nowadays, I don't mess with women who play hard to get. But if I get in a situation where, I don't know, nigga might be in a little bit of a drought or something like that, and I just got time, and I play the game, and then I go through with it, and I finally hit it, or maybe I'm in your city or something like that. If you acting like a bitch to me that whole day, I'm going to be very hard to reach after the fact. I'm going to ghost you. And I'm going to hit you up whenever I feel like it. That's not particularly how I deal with women. But if you get on my nerves, pussy is not enough to maintain my attention. It's not. With goofy shit, another aspect of goofy shit is just that disrespect aspect of testing a man is when it jumps over the line of you're testing a man to see how masculine he is, but then a woman will shift that to testing a man to see how understanding he is. and to see how well he communicates and to see how well he does this or does that. I'm like, that's goofy as hell. Because one, you already crossed that line by being disrespectful in the first place. Two, once you cross that line in that particular way, if your response is, if he walks away because you were disrespectful, or he checks you because you were disrespectful, and then your response is to be like, well, you just get mad because he's not playing your games, you a goofy bitch. Like 100% a goofy bitch. I knew some women like that. I know a woman like that. That shit was so funny to me. Real goofy. What she did, I think I told her to text me or something like that. She texted me. And then after she texted me, what happened? Now, I ain't gonna get too much into that story. But what I'll say is there's some women out here who do and say some really goofy shit. You know, I was talking to a woman recently, and she was saying how she went on a date with a man, and he said, I can pick you up, or you can pick... No, he said, I'm sure you can make time for me, or you can, squeeze me in. And she was thinking to herself, I can't squeeze you in. How can you just assume I got time to squeeze you in? It's like, why are you offended by a man displaying confidence? Why are you offended by a man displaying that he knows he's of high value and a man who is of choice? If you don't think he's a man who's of choice, then you're making yourself look bad for entertaining and talking to that man in the first place. That's goofy. That's goofy. You're just contradicting yourself on different levels. Because this is the thing. When it comes to masculine energy versus feminine energy and how those things can work sometimes, they should be in harmony. They should be in conjunction. But when it's versus, how that can happen is usually just different levels of masculine and feminine energy being mixed up in both people, trying to fight for the position of dominance and for the position of power and control. So let's say it's a situation where a woman shit tests you. Now, that shit test is supposed to be to get a better gauge of your masculinity, right? Now, the thing is this. If her shit test starts to incorporate her having more of a validational need for you to bend to her whims and to bend to what validates her ego, then she's automatically goofy. Because if you do what she wants, she's not going to respect you. That means that she's not going to respect or truly desire you, so you're not going to get pussy the way you want to. She just wants to toy you around. But if you check her, that's going to pull her about, because part of her on the inside is going to want to go with it. Because she's attracted enough to you to entertain you, but at the same time, like, something in her feminine energy, it wants to go for it, but her ego, her hard ass head, her goofiness is so strong that to her, she just has to fight that urge. And when she has to fight the urge, she gets upset at you for calling it out just like it is and saying exactly what's going on when she tries to test you on some goofy shit. I remember there's this one woman I know. This was before I learned more game. We was chilling and stuff. I would come to her, I approached her on some regular shit. Said she had a boyfriend. So I was like, all right, cool. You got a boyfriend. So, all right, cool. We cool. Because we've been chatting it up a little while. So I ain't really pressed about no pussy right now. We good. So me and her, we eventually start hanging out. And she would have these little outfits on. But when she would invite me to hang out, she would be inviting me to drink and chill. And to watch some anime or something. So I'd be like, all right, cool. I'll go watch it with her. I ain't got nothing better else to do at this time of night right now. I already seen my other women this week already, so I'm good.